Hello friends. So we were in the previous lecture studying about types of angles. In this lecture we will study more different types of angles, and some of them are mentioned here. We'll try to cover as many of them as possible, or in the next lecture we'll continue with the rest. So we'll start with the first one, adjacent angles. Adjacent angles. So considering this particular example, what we can find the relation between angle AOB and angle COB. Now I am telling you that they are adjacent angles, and I will give you two reasons for that. They have a common vertex. Okay, so see, AOB and COB having the common vertex, so right? And the next reason I tell you is they have a common side, like AOB and COB. So they have a common side OB. Okay, so adjacent angles are those angles which have a common vertex, which share a common vertex and a common side. Okay, so this and this both form adjacent angles. In real life situation, if suppose I consider this as a cake and I cut two neighboring pieces, so there is a common vertex there and also a common side. So we can say that these two pieces of cakes form adjacent angles. Okay, so here in this case, OA and OC are non-common sides. OA and OC are non-common sides, correct? And OB was the common side, correct? So this was the concept of adjacent angles. Now after studying adjacent, we can start with the linear pair of angles. So a linear pair is two adjacent angles whose non-common side form opposite rays. Now we'll try to understand this statement. Two adjacent angles means there is a presence of two adjacent angles having a non-common side forming opposite rays. Now consider this. These are two adjacent angles, correct? Since we have common vertex O and OB has a common side, so this COB and AOB form adjacent angles, correct? But the statement says that along with being adjacent, the non-common sides, what is the non-common side over here? OA and OC, correct? OB is the common side, OA and OC is the non-common side. So non-common side should form opposite rays. Okay, so they are forming opposite rays. We have discussed opposite rays in the previous lecture. So if you want to know more about it, you can turn over the go back few videos. Okay, so this was the concept of linear pair. So these angles AOB and COB form linear pair of angles. Now there are some theorems we can say about this linear pair of angles. That is, if two angles form a linear pair, they are supplementary. This is the first one. Now what is the meaning of this? They are supplementary. First of all, meaning of supplementary, if two angles sum up, as if this is x, this is y, some particular angle, and if x plus y equal to 180 degree, okay, that is if two angles have the sum of 180 degrees, then they are called as supplementary angles. Okay, so the statement says that angles forming linear pair, then they are supplementary, meaning that these two angles, when they add up, that is angle COB plus angle AOB equal to 180 degree. Okay, so they are supplementary. And the second theorem related to this is that if two congruent angles form linear pair, they are right angles. Okay, so, so according to this, see these two angles form the angle in linear pair. But if this angle is congruent to this angle, then both of the angles should be 90 degree, which is quite obvious, because if I consider it as x and this as x, so according to the previous statement we can consider as x plus x, that is sum of two angles will be 180, since they are supplementary, correct? So 2x equal to 180 and x equal to 90. So this is how we get this statement. If two congruent angles form linear pair, then they are right angles. See, angles forming 90 degree are right angles. Okay. So this was all for today. In the next lecture, we'll understand complementary angles and vertically opposite angles. Okay. So thank you guys.